عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. My respected elders, brothers and sisters in Islam, Alhamdulillah, we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for gathering us here this beautiful afternoon to continue our remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam through the teachings of His Sunnah. And Alhamdulillah, we have covered various types of sujood, namely sujood al-tilawah, the sujood of shukr, prostration of thankfulness, and inshallah today we will complete this chapter of sujood with the prostration of forgetfulness during prayer, also known as sujood as-sahwi. Before going into that, I would like to share on two virtues or the fadilah of making sujood and the encouragement of performing a lot of sujood. If you open books of hadith, namely Sahih Muslim, Imam Muslim rahimahullah has allocated a special chapter, a special bab in his Sahih, and he called that chapter the bab of Fadl Sujood wal Hath alayh, the chapter of the virtue of sujood, prostration, and the encouragement to do so. So in his Sahih Muslim, in this particular chapter, the virtue, fadilat menunaikan sujud, and wal hathi alay, and the encouragement to perform a lot of sujud. Namely, there are two hadith in this chapter, in which the first hadith, it was narrated that Thawban, the companion Thawban, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he used to serve Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So one day, another companion asked Thawban, Ya Thawban, can you let me know, inform me of an act of worship that if I do it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would admit me into Jannah. If I do this particular act, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would put me into paradise, or at the very least, let me know of an act of worship that is most loved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thawban kept quiet. Maybe he was thinking what to say, or he was trying to recall what Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had told him. So this companion asked him a second time. Again he kept quiet, and the third time he replied, saying that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had told him, "Alayka bi kathrati sujudi lillah, fa innaka la tasjudu lillahi sajdatan illa rafa'aka Allahu biha darajah wa hatta anka biha khati'ah." Rawahu Muslim. That the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam informed Thawban, Ya Thawban, alayka bi kathrati sujudi lillah. Upon you is the frequent prostration to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Di atasmu dengan memperbanyakkan sujud. Alayka bi kathrati sujudi lillah. Fa innaka la tasjudu lillahi sajdatan illa rafa'aka Allahu biha darajah. Verily, if you make one prostration, for you, when you make one prostration, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would raise you 1 degree, 1 darajah. And how much is 1 degree in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allahu a'lam. When Allah raises you a degree or a rank or darajah, or kita cakap darajat, okay, darjah 1, darjah 2, levels. So namely it's a level, but how big, how significant is that level, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would know. But if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raises you a degree, that is significant. No matter how small, it is significant that Allah would raise you a degree. So every sujud that you make, whatever prayer, in your salat, that is fard, your obligatory prayer. Your salah, that is sunnah. Sujud al-tilawah, sujud syukur, sujud sahwi. Every sujud that you make, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raises you a rank or a degree. And وَحَطَّ عَنْكَ بِهَا خَطِيئَةً, and Allah removes a sin because of it. Every sujud that we make, Allah raises us a degree, and Allah wipes off a sin that we had. The second hadith that is mentioned by Imam Muslim was narrated by this companion by the name of Rabi'ah bin Ka'ab radiallahu anh, who on one particular night he went to serve the Prophet ﷺ. He spent the night with Rasulullah ﷺ, and spending the night with the Prophet ﷺ, what did Rabi'ah do? He would bring water for the Prophet ﷺ to perform his wudu, and whatever needs that the Prophet ﷺ had, he would be serving him. So during that night, Nabi ﷺ asked Rabi'ah bin Ka'ab, Sal, ask me whatever you want. Minta apa yang kau mau. Because you're spending the night with me, you can ask whatever that you want. So what did Rabi'ah say? He said, Fakultu, and this hadith he narrated it himself, personal narration. So we feel and we know of its significance because he himself experienced it and he himself narrated this narration. He said, As'aluka murafaqataka fil jannah. Ya Rasulullah, I ask of your companionship in Jannah. As'aluka murafaqataka fil jannah. And then Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him, Aw ghayra dhalik, do you have anything else that you want to ask? Qultu huwa dhak, that is all ya Rasulullah. Qal, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied him, Fa'a'inni ala nafsika bi kathrati sujud. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam answered him, help me to achieve this for you. So Rabi'ah bin Ka'ab asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, I want your companionship in Jannah. I want to be with you in paradise. Anything else? That is all that I want. Because if you are asking for the companionship of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Jannah, it's 2 in 1. Allah has to put you in Jannah first. Not only that, you are asking for a high level in Jannah because Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be in the highest level of paradise. So you're asking Allah, basically it's a short dua, short request, but it encompasses a lot of things. First of all, you're asking Allah to be in Jannah. Second of all, you are asking Allah to put you in the highest level of Jannah. Number 3, you are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put you in the companionship of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that's 3 in 1. One request, but it's 3 in 1. And then he said, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him, Fa'inni ala nafsik, help me to help you. So we learn these keywords. Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik. A'inni means help me. Help me. So Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrik. Oh Allah, help me to remember you. Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika. Help me to be thankful to you. Dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik. Help me to do my best to worship you. So that's the dua, the dhikr that we read after salah. Am I right? Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik. So remember the word a'inni. So Nabi SAW replied to Rabi'ah, Fa'a'inni ala nafsik. Help me to help yourself. How? Bikathrati sujud. Because by performing a lot of sujud, in other words, will earn you a place in Jannah. Not only in Jannah, will earn you a place in the companionship of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So those are just 2 hadith to motivate us and to encourage us, inshallah, to perform a lot of sujud. So if you want to perform a lot of sujud, that means perform all of our prayers, obligatory prayers, and of course sunnah prayers. Tayyib. Now we enter the bar of sujud as-sahwi. Sujud as-sahwi, and the word sahwi, bukan sawi, sahwi with a ha, sahwi. Sahwi comes from the Arabic verb saha. Saha yashu, meaning fail to remember. So in Arabic past tense, saha an shay'in ya'ni nasiya. He forgotten something. Forget something, or you neglect something, or you omit something, or you pay no consideration, or you are not mindful of something. So makna dia banyak. Saha an shay'in, nasiya an shay'in. Okay, you forget to do something. So the noun is sahwi. Sujud sahwi is a sujud, a prostration that you perform because of that something that you've forgotten. So the name in itself, the definition in itself explains to us what is this sujud. Okay. And it is confirmed that the Prophet ﷺ sometimes forgot something in the salah. ثبت أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يسهو في الصلاة وصح عنه أنه قال إنما أنا بشر أنسى كما تنسون فإذا نسيت فذكروني. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, I'm a human being like any one of you. إنما أنا بشر, I am a human being. And this confirms the verse in Surah Al-Kahf that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned he is a human being. Nabi SAW was a human being. He was born from a woman, from his mother, from a relationship of his father and his mother. He had a normal birth. He was born like any other human being. He grew up as a child. He reached adulthood and so on. He was a human being. Except, how is Nabi SAW different from any one of us? Because he was a chosen one. Because إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ يُوحَى إِلَيَّ. I am like any human being, like any one of you, except that I received revelation. He was a chosen one by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this dismisses any belief that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam was created from nur, from light. There are certain groups, deviant beliefs, who believe that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam was created from light. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam was born like any one of us, via a mom and a father. Mother and father, he was a normal childbirth. I am a human being like you and forget like you forget. If I forget, remind me. So Nabi SAW says, he forgets. Now, just to strengthen our understanding, because some of us, we might not have these doubts, alhamdulillah, but shaitan comes in. Shaitan comes in and whispers via various channels. You might have sudden negative thoughts in your head, or someone might come up and strike a conversation with you. They would say, you claim Nabi SAW, was infallible, ma'soom. And Allah SWT says in the Quran, وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. Nabi SAW does not speak out of his own desires. Whatever that comes out of his mouth and his actions are all revealed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, logically we may ask, if all of his actions and his words and his speech were revelation, diwahyukan oleh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, macam mana boleh lupa pula dalam solat? Am I right? Pernah terfikir? If you claim you are a messenger of Allah, everything that you do was revelation, so how is it possible that we have many various examples that Nabi SAW did certain things in prayer, which shows that he forgot certain things? So now we must make it clear, because a lot of these Orientalists, they would like to, poke at Muslims using these points. We should understand, with regard to revelation, with regard to Quranic verses, with regard to rulings, Nabi SAW never forgotten, because he was guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We will look later on an example in which he forgot something in Salah. Okay? But the Muslims, the companions, already know what Salah is all about. They had learned Salah from Nabi SAW. That is why when Nabi SAW had forgotten, companions asked him, you forgotten something? So that was when he did Sujud Sahwi. That's why we have a chapter of Sujud Sahwi, for us to learn from the error or mistake that he did. But with regard to Salah, there was no mistake. Salah was already learned by all of the companions. Radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Clear? Is that quite clear? Tayyib. So, because the book that we are using, if any one of you are looking at the PDF, it doesn't talk into much detail. So I'd like to, slightly give a brief summary and then go into, a few details, and then we look at the examples, inshallah. Tayyib. Sujud sahwi, basically the sujud that you perform because you've forgotten something during prayer. Ruling of sujud sahwi. Apa hukum sujud sahwi? The scholars berbeza pendapat. The scholars of madhab differ in the opinion. Madhab Syafi'i, hukum sujud sahwi apa? In madhab of Syafi'i, what is the ruling of sujud sahwi? Wajib ke, sunnah ke, makruh ke? Sunnah. In madhab of Imam Syafi'i, sujud sahwi sunnah. Madhab Abu Hanifa, in the Hanafi madhab, it's fard, wajib, compulsory. Okay? So if people, you're praying with a congregation where the imam, belongs or practices this particular madhab, and they perform or they have a discussion with you and they say it's fard, we understand, because in their school of thought, it is compulsory. Madhab Malik, Imam Malik, he had two opinions. If something that was missed during prayer was something that was wajib in prayer, then the sujud becomes compulsory. If something that was added in prayer, terlebih rakaat, for example, then that sujud sahwi is recommended. Not compulsory, but recommended. Okay? And in the Hanbali madhab, it's wajib as well. So of all these different schools of thought, only Imam Shafi'i says sujud sahwi sunnah. Okay, but in fact that is the view that is most accurate, it's most rajih. That is in fact sunnah, because there will be examples in which we'll be looking at that, it is indeed sunnah, it's not compulsory. Okay, before we look at examples, sujud sahwi is to be done namely because of 3 reasons. I summarize for you. 3 reasons. Number 1, in Arabic it's called az-ziyadah. Az-ziyadah in Malay or in English it means addition. When you added something during your prayer, terlebih rakaat, for example, extra rakaat. So when there's an addition, you perform sujud sahwi. Number 2, an-naqs, something that is missing, kurang. Tadi lebih kan? Sekarang kurang. Missing something. For example, you miss tashahud awal, tahiyat awal. Okay, you miss that, and then you perform sujud. So with something extra, you perform sujud sahwi. When something is missing, you also perform sujud sahwi. Number 3, if there is a doubt, shak. When you doubt the number of raka'ah. Did I perform 3 or did I perform 4? Did I perform 2 or did I perform 3? If you have a doubt about the number of raka'ah, you perform sujud sahwi. So in a nutshell, that summarizes it all. Az-ziyadah, an-naqs, and ash-shak. When there's an addition to something that you've done in prayer, or when there's a subtraction of something that you forgot to do something in prayer, or there's doubt of something that you've done in prayer, then you perform sujud sahwi. That's the 3 main reasons. Because kalau dalam mazhab Syafi'i, in Syafi'i school of thought, it's number 4, dia ada 4. Okay, the examples given by in the school of Imam Shafi'i is even more detailed. So for example, if you read something not in its place, rukun qawli. So instead of saying Surah Al-Fatiha, you recite Surah Al-Fatiha, for example, in ruku or in tashahud, you recite surah, you are also supposed to do sujud sahwi. Okay, so those are just, inshallah, we'll talk about the examples. Okay, number 1, let's talk about how we perform this sujud sahwi. How to perform these prostrations. The prostrations of forgetfulness are 2 prostrations which a person makes before the taslim. So sujud sahwi ni 2 sujud. 2 kali sujud. 2 times you make sujud. Here it says before taslim. Before you say Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Is that what we've been doing? Before we say salam? Okay, so that is one opinion. So that is in fact the opinion of Imam Shafi'i. Madhab Shafi'i, we do the sujud before we say salam to finish our prayer. Number 2, there is also an opinion in the Hanafi school of thought that you give sujud after you give salam. So Assalamualaikum warahmatullah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullah, dah habis. And then you perform your sujud. We will look at the examples later on, I'm just summarizing. Number 3, Madhab Imam Malik, if you are to perform this sujud because you omitted something, tertinggal sesuatu, terkurang sesuatu dalam solat, so you do sujud before salam. But if you want to perform sujud sahwi because terlebih, addition, you do it after salam. So Imam Malik even more detailed. If because it's something that is missing, you do it before you finish your prayer. If it's because of something extra, you give salam first and then you sujud after you complete your prayer. Imam Ahmad, that means Madhab Hanbali, he said it can be done before or after as per what the Prophet ﷺ did. So in fact, if you look at hadith, different narrations in hadith, the Prophet did it both ways. He either did it before salam, or there were instances he did it after salam. So that's not a problem. Okay, I'm just laying out all of the different opinions so that we know, so we are not caught unaware, especially because here we are living in a multi-madhab society. We go to a masjid where the majority might not be Shafi'is, for example. Okay, so we know. So in case they do after salam, we don't say, Imam salah, macam mana ni? Kan, kita confuse sendiri. Yes. So now we know. We know the different schools of thought, just for awareness and to broaden our perspective, inshallah.
As a matter of fact, just the other day, I came across just the other day and I was quite conscious of it, and I came close to actually saying something that I held back. I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, inshallah. Okay. So that is why it is important for us to know, a little bit, even if not in detail, about the practices of different madhab, because they're all from the sunnah. They are all from the sunnah. Just which opinion that the imam viewed to be more accurate. Okay. So all of this has been confirmed from the Prophet ﷺ, and in the Sahih, it is recorded from Abu Sa'id al-Khudri that the Prophet ﷺ said, if one of you has some doubts during his salah and he does not recall the number of raka'ah that he has prayed, 3 or 4, then he can put an end to his doubt by performing salah according to what he was certain, yani of the lesser amount, and then make 2 sujud before the salam. So this is in summary. Okay, if you are in doubt, tak ingat, or kita doubtful berapa rakaat kita dah buat, always take the lesser raka'ah, because the lesser one is the yaqeen. The lesser raka'ah is that which is more confirmed. So for example, you are unsure, is this my 3rd or 4th? For example, praying Zuhur or Asr or Isha, is this my 3rd or 4th? It might be it is the 4th. It might be that it is actually the 4th raka'ah, but because of that doubt during prayer, take it that is your number 3. Okay? And then you perform sujud sawi. And it does happen. Even, to the best of us, it happens. You forget the number of raka'ah. You get distracted during prayer, something distracts you, something suddenly came across your mind, and you suddenly are caught unaware. And this has happened even for me in school, especially because I pray with kids in school. And sometimes during prayer, they laugh and they giggle and like, ni nombor berapa Lupa sekejap. And then hantam sajalah. Kan? Always take the lesser amount. Always take the lesser amount. But inshallah, with the examples that we are looking at, we will clearly understand what we are supposed to do. Okay, next, I would like to mention the story of Dhul Yadain. Wait, hang on. I want to say what Ash-Shawkani, he said, the best that is stated on this subject is that one must follow what the Prophet ﷺ said or did, respecting the sujud before or after the taslim. If one does something that necessitates sujud before taslim, one should make them before the taslim. And we'll look at the examples later on. And if one does something requiring sujud after taslim, then one should make them after the taslim. Because in the example later on, we would see that Nabi SAW had completed his prayer. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Then it was brought to his attention that something was missing. And then he completed his prayer and made sujud. We will look at that example later on. As for these acts of forgetfulness that are not related to any specific time, either before or after we say Assalamu alaikum, one may choose to make the prostrations before or after the taslim in cases of addition or reduction in the salah. This is based on what Imam Muslim recorded in his Sahih, that the Prophet ﷺ said, if one adds or decreases something from his salah, he should make 2 sujud. He should make 2 sujud. Okay, when to perform these prostrations? Inshallah, we'll look into more detail. If a person, number one is reduction. That means kurang sesuatu dalam salat, reduction. If a person makes the taslim before he actually completes the prayer, that means you might have forgotten the number of raka'at. You're supposed to be praying 4. Suddenly you sit your last tashahud on the 3rd raka'at and you give salam. That means you're missing 1 raka'at. Okay? And from Abu Hurairah, it was narrated that the Prophet ﷺ prayed either Dhuhr or Asr with the companions, and he prayed only 2 and made the taslim. So this happened, true story. It was either Dhuhr or Asr, so supposed to be 4. Am I right? He prayed 2 only, and he said Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Habis. Because if you say salam, that's it. Your prayer has ended. صلى بنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إحدى صلاة العشي فصلى ركعتين ثم سلم فقام إلى خشبة معروضة في المسجد فاتكأ عليها كأنه غضبان ووضع يده اليمنى على اليسرى وشبك بين أصابعه ووضع خده على ظهر كفيه اليسرى وخرجت السرعان من أبواب المسجد فقالوا قصرت الصلاة وفي القوم أبو بكر وعمر فهاب أن يكلماه وفي القوم رجل يقال له ذو اليدين فقال يا رسول الله أنسيت أن قصرت الصلاة فقال لم أنسى ولم تقصر قال أكما يقول ذو اليدين فقالوا نعم فقدم فصلى ما ترك ثم سلم ثم كبر وسجد مثل سجوده أو أطول ثم رفع رأسه وكبر ثم كبر وسجد مثل سجوده أو أطول ثم رفع رأسه حديث رواه البخاري were Muslim. So he said salam after 2 raka'at, and then Nabi SAW got up. That means he left his sitting position. Right? Because we say salam, we are still in sitting. He got up and he went to one of the pillars of the masjid, and he leaned against that pillar. And he looked angry. He looked angry. So Allah Ta'ala, maybe he was shown something during his prayer, because the hadith does not elaborate. Because, in other narrations, and I've mentioned this hadith before, in one prayer, the Nabi SAW, reached in front of him and tried to grab something. You remember this story? And then he tried to grab something from in front of him, and then, in another part, he shielded his face during prayer. And the companions asked him, what was it, Ya Rasulullah? He said, when I was trying to grab something, it was because Jannah was shown to me. I was shown Jannah. And I was trying to grab the fruits of Jannah. Wallahi, he said, if I was able to grab the fruits of Jannah, you'll be able to eat from it now. And when he shielded his face, because Nabi SAW was shown the adhab of Jahannam, he was shown hell. So he shielded his face out of fear of looking at that sight, the horrible sight. So, who knows? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows better, because he got up from his spot in prayer, he went against the pillar, he leaned against the pillar, and he looked angry. He looked angry and he clasped his hands like this, right? Interlocking his fingers, and then he put his face on his left hand. That means it showed as though he was thinking about something. Something worried him. He did it like that, and then some people left the masjid. Some people left the masjid in a hurry. And, as they were leaving, they said, has the prayer been shortened? Because they were aware that this was either Zuhur or Asar. They know that this was supposed to be 4. Suddenly, Prophet ﷺ only prayed 2, and he got up and acted a bit funny, a bit weird. So some of them left. And amongst those people who were there praying with Nabi ﷺ were Abu Bakr and Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhuma. But let's look at these 2 Sahaba. They were amongst, in fact, 2 of the greatest Sahabas. 2 of those Sahabas promised Jannah. But out of respect and humility in front of Rasulullah ﷺ, they did not say anything. Because they know, they had this awareness and consciousness, if Nabi ﷺ got up and did something and he looked angry, something must be on. They kept quiet. But there was a person called Dhul Yadain. Okay, within the congregation, there was a person, he was given the nickname Dhul Yadain. It's not known what his actual name is. Dhul Yadain is his nickname. Dhul Yadain means the one who has hands, yang mempunyai tangan. Because it is said that his hands were slightly longer than the average man. So they gave him a nickname, Dhul Yadain. So even during the time of the Sahabas, people gave such nicknames, not only us now. Because even now, in our generation, we give people nicknames. Right? Back in Singapore, kita kenal ada orang telinga dia kemang sikit, kita panggil dia, nama dia lah, tak sebut nama, Fulan Telinga. Sebab telinga dia kemang sikit, kan? Ada orang mata dia berlolok sikit, kita panggil dia Fulan Mata. So we describe, physical, we give physical, nicknames based on physical attributes. So this happened during the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This companion, he was known as Dhul Yadain, the one that has hands, because his hands were slightly longer. So he was the one who raised his question to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, Ya Rasulullah, have you forgotten or has the prayer been shortened? Nampak berani? Kan? Maybe a simple person, we do not know who this companion is, but he was the one who raised his concern. Ya Rasulullah, did you forget? Berani dia tanya Nabi. Lupa ke? Or has the prayer actually been shortened? So Nabi SAW said, I have not forgotten, nor has the prayer been shortened. And then Nabi SAW asked again, is it as what Dhul Yadain had said? The people answered yes. And at that, Nabi SAW led the people in what he had omitted and made this taslim. So he only prayed 2. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. He got up, went to the side of the masjid, and then this conversation took place. Dhul Yadain asked him, did you forget? The Nabi said no. Then Nabi asked the people, is what he said correct? They said yes. So conversation took place. If it was us, if this happened to us with our imam, what's going to happen? What are we supposed to do? Nak solat 4 rakaat balik ke macam mana? Do we want to repeat 4 rakaat? What should we do?
I noticed there's 2 incidents over here. One time, the imam. So after the prayer, someone says, we forget. I think you only do 3, but not 4. So anyway, so the imam rise up, and he himself said, I will be the only one who will be doing the salah. Another incident, another imam, same thing happened, but this time we all of us complete the salah. Now the question is after we have performed our salah, because one of the rukun of salah, if we speak, our salah will be void. So what is the situation? Are we allowed to speak? And
Okay, I will come to that inshallah. But based on this hadith, Nabi prayed only two, right? Two, he gave salam, complete. That conversation happened. Some people left the masjid. So when it was brought to him that, was it true that I only prayed two? The Sahaba said yes. Nabi SAW returned to his spot and prayed two more with the congregation. Only two. So tadi dah dua, so lagi dua. Untuk genapkan empat, to complete 4 rakaat. And then what he said, after which he made the takbir and prostrated the way he usually prostrated. So he did 2 more rakaat and said taslim. So assalamualaikum warahmatullah, assalamualaikum warahmatullah, and then Allahu Akbar, sujud lagi. Okay, he sujud perhaps even longer than his usual sujud, and then he raised his head. Allahu Akbar, bangun, duduk sekejap, and then Allahu Akbar, going again, second sujud, even longer, and then he raised his head, and that was it. So this sujud sahwi after prayer. After prayer. This hadith shows that sujud sahwi can be performed after salam. So what to do if Imam suddenly prayed less than the actual amount of raka'at? The Imam can stand back again and just complete that missing raka'at. You don't have to restart. Unless of course the duration has been so long and then you suddenly remember. Okay, that's a separate story. But if it's immediate, and you see companions actually had a conversation with Nabi SAW. They asked him, did you forget? Or was it shortened? So people were talking. So in fact, one of the conditions that you cannot have a conversation during prayer, yes, that will make your prayer void. But, some of the scholars, they are of the opinion, if this speech was to inform the Imam that something was not done correctly, it does not make your prayer void. Because if it was void, tak boleh solat 2 saja, mesti solat balik 4. Kan? Because Nabi SAW only prayed 2. This shows that the earlier 2 was accepted. Tak batal, tak salah. Cuma genapkan lagi 2 rakaat. Okay. Second story, Abdullah ibn Zubair prayed Maghrib and he said Assalamualaikum warahmatullah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullah only after 2 rakaat. Maghrib supposed to be 3. He only prayed 2 because he stood up and wanted to kiss Hajarul Aswad. Okay, he wanted to kiss Hajarul Aswad, so maybe he forgotten or something. And then when the people tried to correct him, he said, what is the matter with you? And then he prayed what he had left out and performed 2 sujud. So he only redid 1 rakaat, okay, because Maghrib is supposed to be 3. He completed 1 more rakaat and made 2 sujud, that is sujud as-sahwi. And this was mentioned to, when this was mentioned to Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said that this was not far from the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you do not have to redo. Okay, just make up that missing rakaat. Okay, that is with regard to reduction, when you reduce something during prayer. Okay, before I go into another example, before the next reason of sujud as-sahwi, I would like to go into one example. So that was reduction, when kita kurang sesuatu dalam solat. So tadi kurang rakaat, a rakaat that was missing. What if on the second rakaat we're supposed to sit tashahud awal? Am I right? Tahiyat awal. Kita cakap tahiyat awal. In Arabic tashahud. Tashahud awal. Instead of sitting down, because we forgot or something, we immediately stand up. Okay, think of a few situations. Maybe the Imam stood up, he forgot, he stood up, and we are the ma'mum, we are praying behind him. Or even if we are praying by ourselves. So now what are we going to do? Macam mana? What's the ruling of tashahud awal? Sunnah. Tashahud awal sunnah. Okay? So when the Imam got up, what should we do? And we are behind him, we are in the congregation. Follow? Okay, follow. So the Imam stood up, terus sudah bangun, and he's in an upright position. We, the ma'mum, stand up with him. Because to follow the Imam is compulsory during prayer. It's an obligation during salah. So we stand up as well. What happens if he got up a little bit, but he did not fully stand upright yet? Maybe, halfway he remembered, I'm supposed to be in my second rak'ah, and then he goes back down, sitting down. What are we supposed to do? Okay, scholars are of different opinions. If he has, if he stood upright, he's already standing upright, and he comes back down, solat dia batal. Mazhab Syafi'i. Okay, his prayer is void because he has done something wrong. He stood up and then he remembered, he goes back down, batal, void. Because tashahud awal sunnah. Sunnah. So what happens if he had already stood up straight? At the end of it, you do 2 sujud sahwi. Okay? If you remember, before you are standing upright, just come back down quickly. Just come back down quickly. What happens if Imam is aware, okay, I missed my tashahud awal, he forgot, and he stood up, and he remains standing, but Jama'ah, the congregation, Subhanallah. Subhanallah. And then, the congregation does not want to get up. Again. They keep, Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Imam tak layan, because Imam knows what he's doing. He said, I'm not supposed to go back down, because if I go back down, my prayer becomes void. I just have to do 2 sujud at the end of it. But makmum keeps saying, Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. And because of peer pressure, Imam duduk balik. Kena pressure kan, Imam duduk balik. Semua batal. Semua batal. If you are aware, if the Imam knows and he does it on purpose, batal. He has to inform the congregation, dah batal, kita kena solat semula. But if the Imam does not know, because of ignorance, tak tahu hukum, kalau dia turun balik, tak batal lah. Okay, and then he can just perform 2 sujud sahwi. But if the Imam is aware of the ruling and he goes back because of being pressured by the congregation, solat dia batal. Okay, and jemaah pun batal.
So bagaimana if the Imam make sujud back? Can you know that this one is what? So you alone do your perform.
Yes, you can mufarakah. In that case, yes, you can. If you are aware that the Imam, okay, let's say you are praying jemaah, okay, supposed to be tashahud awal, tahiyat awal. Kita masih duduk because kita tahu patut tahiyat awal. Imam dah bangun. Bila kita tengok Imam bangun, when we see the Imam has stood up straight, we should immediately get up. Do not recite our tahiyat. Immediately get up because follow Imam is wajib, tashahud awal sunnah. So immediately stand up even though you know you miss tahiyat awal. Kita diri. Okay, sekali dah diri, we already upright, sekali Imam duduk pula. Because Imam suddenly realised, oh, I forgot to do my tahiyat, he went back sitting down. Now what do we do as a jemaah? Kita remain standing. We remain standing because we know what that Imam is doing is wrong. So we remain standing. And we can wait for him to come back up. Okay, remain standing. Or, the second option is you can mufarakah, you can separate your niyat and pray on your own, not in the congregation with the Imam. Okay, now let's look at an instance in which something was added to prayer. In the case of an addition to the prayer, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud narrates that the Prophet ﷺ prayed 5 raka'ah. He prayed 5 raka'ah and the people asked him, has there been an addition to the prayer? He asked, why do you say that? They replied, you prayed 5 raka'ah. And then he made 2 sujud after he had made the taslim. And this hadith is related by the group. This hadith proves that the prayer of one who prays 5 raka'ahs out of forgetfulness without sitting during the 4th raka'ah is acceptable. Ini terlebih pula, terlebih raka'at. So 4th bangun, 4th raka'ah you get up, and then you pray 5th because you were thinking that the 5th one is actually your 4th one. And then you recite your tashahud and you say salam. That prayer is valid, tak perlu solat semula, just perform 2 sujud sahwi even after you finish your prayer. So Assalamualaikum warahmatullah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullah, and people told you, hey, I was observing you actually prayed 5. Oh, is that so? Allahu Akbar, sujud, bangun, duduk sekejap, Allahu Akbar, sujud lagi sekali. Okay, you can do your sujud after your prayer. Okay, next one. In the case of forgetting the first tashahud, okay, I've mentioned this, or one of the other sunnah acts of prayer, it is narrated that the Prophet ﷺ stood up after 2 raka'ah. So he missed the tashahud awal, tahiyat awal. The people tried to correct him, but he continued. So Nabi ﷺ remained standing. He did not go back down. And when he had finished his salah, he made 2 sujud and made the taslim. So again, 2 sujud and say Assalamu alaikum. And this hadith shows that one who forgets tahiyat awal or the first tashahud, but is reminded of it and he recalls it before he completely stands up, should return down and sit down. But if he is already completely standing, he should not sit down. And this is mentioned in various narrations, because the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, if one of you stands after 2 raka'ah and he has not completely stood, he should sit down. But if you are already completely standing, you should not sit, and he should make 2 sujud of forgetfulness. So this is a clear instruction from the Prophet ﷺ. This specific example of forgetting tashahud awal, kalau dah berdiri, remain standing. Kalau baru nak diri, belum cukup berdiri tegak, kembali duduk. Okay, so this is an explicit example of this hadith, so we should abide by this. Okay, number 4 is about doubt. We've talked about addition, we talked about reduction, now shak, doubt. We doubt something in prayer. Okay, forget to say. Kalau solat subuh, lupa doa kunut. Lupa doa kunut, macam mana? Ha? Kalau mazhab Syafi'i kena sujud sahwi. Mazhab Syafi'i kena sujud sahwi. Okay, so if you are praying in Singapore, Malaysia, and the imam forgets his kunut, do sujud sahwi together with him. Tak menjadi masalah. Okay, it's not a problem. Okay, but because you are aware that some, more accurately, kunut is not only performed during Fajr prayer, during Subuh prayer, and you do not practice kunut during Fajr anyway. Okay, so that is not considered a mistake because we are not holding on to that view strictly. But if we are praying with an imam, or we are asked to be an imam in a community that performs kunut, to be tolerant of the practice, we can decide doa kunut, not a problem. Okay, but in the instance that we forget and people behind us say Subhanallah, okay, we can perform sujud sahwi, inshallah. Okay, if one of you has some doubt during his salah, keyword during. Okay. As-sujud inda shak fi salah, fa'an Abdurrahman bin Auf qal sami'tu Rasulullah SAW yaqul idha shakka ahadukum fi salatihi falam yadri awahidatan salla am ithnatain falyaj'alha wahidah wa idha lam yadri ithnatain salla am thalathan falyaj'alha ithnatain wa idha lam yadri thalathan salla am arba'an falyaj'alha thalathan thumma yasjudu idha faragh min salatihi wa huwa jalisun qabla an yusallim sajdatain. If one of you has some doubts during salah and does not know if he has prayed 1 raka'ah or 2, take it to be just 1. Always take the lesson number. Or if he does not know if he has prayed 2 or 3, he should take it to be just 2. And if he does not remember whether it has been 3 or 4, take it to be just 3. In all such cases, at the end of the prayer, while sitting, he should make 2 more sujud before the taslim. Another hadith in which it is mentioned clearly the examples given by the Prophet ﷺ with regard to taking the lesser number if you are doubtful. Keyword, during prayer. If you are during prayer and you are doubtful, take the lesser number and then do sujud sahwi after. What happens? Now, trick question. I want to make your mind work a little bit. Trick question. What if the doubt comes after you've completed your prayer? Dah habis solat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Dah habis semua, dah zikir semua. Dah habis, suddenly syaitan whispers and you're doubtful. Tadi, did I pray 3 or 4? Did I pray 2 or 3? And your prayer has been completed. You've already gone out, somewhere else. What happens? MashaAllah, brilliant answer. Ask for forgiveness, and we're always asking for forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Always say istighfar. But I want to make something clear. If the doubt comes after prayer, your prayer valid. Tak menjadi masalah. Because the doubt comes after prayer. Because hadith says, fi salatihi. Nabi SAW said, if the doubt comes inside prayer, while you are still inside prayer, you are still praying, you are doubtful, you take the lesser number and you perform sujud. Now, the doubt comes after you have completed prayer, you don't have to worry. Tak payah qada. You don't have to repray. Tak payah qada, tak payah make up missing raka'ah, no need. Okay? It is as it is done. Allah SWT would have accepted it, except in 2 situations. Okay, these 2 situations. If you are missing any of these 2, or the doubt is because of these 2 reasons, you have to repray your salah. You have to make up for your salah. If it is concerning your niyyah, your intention. Lupa. Kita dah habis solat semua, tadi sekali teringat. Tadi semayang niat ke tak? Kan? Or we are, the doubt comes, tadi aku semayang zuhur ke asar tiba-tiba lupa. Tiba-tiba syak. Then you have to repray. Because it's concerning your niyyah. That means when you first stood up to pray earlier, you were not clear of your intention. What prayer were you praying? Is it zuhur? Is this asar? Is this isya? So because your niyyah was not clear, you have to repray your salat semula. Okay? Number 2, if it was concerning takbiratul ihram. Because if you are doubtful after prayer, did I say Allahu Akbar, takbiratul ihram, to enter myself into the state of prayer? If you are doubtful even about that, that means tak masuk solat lah. That means you have not actually performed solat. If you were doubtful, did I actually say Allahu Akbar to enter myself into the state of prayer? So if you are doubtful after completing prayer, with regards to these two situations, number one, your niyyah. Number two, takbiratul ihram. Then you have to repray. Salat semula. Other than that, did I do tashahud awal? Did I do ruku'? Did I do sujud? Did I say surah Al-Fatihah? Yada yada yada. Tak perlu. You don't have to repray your salat except when it's due to niyyah or takbiratul ihram. Masya Allah, faqih, Masya Allah. What if it's regard to wudu? Kita doubtful. Tadi, did I pray ada wudu ke tak? Macam mana? Macam mana? What should we do? If you are doubtful whether I prayed earlier, whether it has wudu or without wudu. To be safe, repray your prayer. Retake your wudu and pray that prayer again, because a prayer without wudu is not valid. MashaAllah, this shows your, MashaAllah, quick thinking, subhanallah. Okay, so retake your wudu or take a fresh wudu and perform that prayer again. Okay. In one narration, it is stated, whoever prays and has some doubt that he was short of the complete prayer, he should continue praying until he suspects that he has added something to the prayer with respect to the number of rak'ah that he has prayed. And Prophet ﷺ also mentioned, if one of you has some doubts during his prayer and does not know if he has prayed 3 or 4, then he should remove his doubt by praying according to the amount that he is certain. So certain, ambil number yang kurang, you're certain of that you have done at least 3, so that is your certainty, and you pray that, complete that rak'ah, and then you make sujud. Because if he had prayed 5 rak'ah, so you actually prayed an extra rak'ah without realizing, okay, and then you make 2 sujud, it will actually, recompense that doubtfulness that you had during prayer. So these 2 sujud melengkapkan kekurangan dalam solat, okay? And if he had prayed 4, he actually prayed 4, no mistake, no addition. Only he was doubtful. But in reality, he prayed 4. So the 2 sujud that he would done would be a defiance of syaitan. Would be macam kita, we are defying syaitan. Because why? In the hadith that we was mentioned 2 weeks ago, when we make sujud, syaitan becomes angry at us. Because we are ordered to make sujud and we obey. And Allah causes us to enter Jannah because of sujud. Shaitan was ordered to make sujud, but he was defiant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So shaitan, in reality, he's jealous of the fact that we obey the order to perform sujud. And these 2 hadith prove what the majority of the scholars have said, namely, if one has some doubt concerning the number of raka'at one has prayed, one should act according to the amount that one is certain to have prayed, the lesser amount, and then make 2 sujud before the salam. Okay. Now,
couple of questions. So when you said if you're in doubt after salat, zikir and so on, it's okay, right?
It's okay.
But when you say imam, you get corrected, you do sujud sahwi after, right? Why the difference? I mean, is it because someone corrected you, you make that thing, but if you're in doubt, it's okay?
Yes. So, based on the hadith that we mentioned earlier, in fact, prayer was completed because Nabi said, Assalamualaikum warahmatullah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. So, it is not a doubt.
Okay.
It's something that is clear and evident because the Sahabas realized something was amiss. He only prayed 2. So, in fact, it's not a doubt. So, that's why Dhul Yadain asked the Prophet ﷺ, did you forget or has prayer been shortened? So, it's an awareness. But this example is doubt. Shak. Tak clear, we're not clear. You are thinking, did I do it or did I not do it? If it's after prayer, then that's fine. Unless certainty comes to you after, I forgot to say, to make my intention. Or I forgot to say takbiratul ihram, then you repray your prayer. Okay, but with regard to number of raka'at, whether it was even less raka'at. Okay, the doubt came after. Did I pray Asar just now 3 or 4? But it's after prayer, you do not have to make up. Unless someone comes and tells you, I was observing you pray, you actually only prayed 3. Now something is evident and clear. So what should we do? Based on the example from the hadith, we make up 1 rak'ah. So we should, something that is clear and something that is doubtful.
So, true story. After you finish, you have doubt. You ask people behind you, they have doubt. It happens, right?
Yeah.
When you ask, they say, oh, I should know.
Yeah.
Or 4. So
Yeah.
you
Okay. So it's after prayer. Based on the hadith, we do not have to make up. We don't have to make up because it's after prayer. But if to rid yourself of that uncertainty, you can either, I give you 2 options. Number 1 is closer to the sunnah. You make up for that missing rak'ah. That is closer to the sunnah. You make up for that missing rak'ah. So if you doubt whether that I prayed 3 or 4 and it comes after prayer, if you are still doubtful, to be honest, based on the examples, you don't have to do anything because it's after prayer. But just to rid yourself of that shak, that waswas, perform 1 additional rak'ah. Okay, and perform sujud sahwi. Perform 2 sujud sahwi. Okay.
Just now you were giving the examples of praying in congregation. So if you know that the imam made a mistake, but nobody else corrected him, do you do sujud sahwi after? Or
No need, because the imam, his actions would encompass your actions. Okay, it encompasses your actions. Okay, now that I will come to that point now, because this book doesn't explain how do we correct the imam. Macam mana kita nak betulkan imam semasa solat? Macam mana? Subhanallah. Bagus. Subhanallah. Men say subhanallah. Kalau perempuan, macam mana gini? Gini. Perempuan lah tengah solat kan. Sekali tengok nyamuk. Terus dia, and then imam, itu to correct me, or was it, or because of something else? So imam got to be alert. Okay, so the hadith, you are right, that is found in hadith, many narrations from hadith Bukhari, namely Nabi SAW mentioned at-tasbih lil-rijal wa tasfiq lil-nisa. Tasbih, the saying of subhanallah, lil-rijal, for men, and tasfiq is for the clapping, is for the woman. Okay, not clap like that, not a round of applause. Okay, like that. Okay, so if the lady is praying like this, in qiyam position, you can clap your hand. What if you are in sujud, or you are sitting down, or in ruku' for example, or kita tengah duduk tahiyat, macam mana kita nak tepuk? You can tap on your lap. Okay, tap on your lap. So the imam also has to be aware when he hears in the background that sound, a clapping sound, he should try to recall maybe a mistake that he has done during prayer.
What do you mean cannot? Sorry. What do you mean cannot hear?
Imam pekak. Jalan terus lah. Jalan terus, insya.
What about if you are praying with your family?
Huh?
Can the woman, instead of clapping, say subhanallah?
Yes, there's a minor view. There's a minor view that for women you can also say subhanallah. So kita, we are tolerant of these views, but majority is that woman, even at home, within your family members, with your mahram, you still tap your hand. Okay, but if say subhanallah, if the lady she's praying with her husband and husband makes a mistake and she says subhanallah, it's valid. Prayer tak batal. Okay, perempuan solat tak batal. Okay, because there's a view, Imam Malik, if I'm not wrong, he is of the view that tasbih is for ladies as well. So even women, the imam did something wrong, subhanallah. What if imam made a mistake during recitation of surah? You don't say subhanallah, if you know of the verse, immediately betulkan, correct the verse. What if, true story again, this happened in Singapore, in our masjid, and this particular imam, he got up and he forgot to read Surah Al-Fatihah. He forgot to recite Surah Al-Fatihah, terus baca surah. So makmum kat belakang, subhanallah, subhanallah, dia tak faham juga, dia baca terus. In the end, ada satu makmum, dia dah fed up, Al-Fatihah. Al-Fatihah, batal tak batal? Batal ke tak batal? Okay. Now back to your question. Some people, they say we cannot talk during solat. Okay, that's fine, because initially companions, Sahaba radhiyallahu anhu, spoke during prayer. Pernah dengar? Sahabat semasa solat berbual. Berapa rakaat orang sebelah? Dia cakap until the instruction came not to speak during prayer. Now there are some a bit funny views. They say as long as you say something in Arabic, solat tak batal, because Arabic is bahasa solat, the language that you use during prayer. Kalau cakap Melayu, cakap Hindustan, batal. But that is not necessarily the case, because even if you speak Arabic fusha, grammatically correct Quranic Arabic during prayer, كيف حالك يا صديقي هل أكلت اليوم batal juga lah, because you're supposed to be praying, you're not supposed to be having a conversation with your friend. Even if it's in Arabic, your prayer is void. Okay, so language does not matter. Again, based on that hadith we read earlier, kita solat zuhur or asar with imam, sekali lepas 2 rakaat atau 3 rakaat imam bagi salam, and then we correct the imam. Kita cakap Melayu or we speak in English. Dear imam, actually you only prayed 3 rakaat. Imam said, oh, is that so? Okay, let's make up 1 more rakaat. Boleh, based on that hadith. Okay, so that the first 3 was accepted, you just make up for 1 rakaat and then you make sujud sahwi. Okay, very quickly, what is to, because the book does not mention, what is to be recited during sujud sahwi? Sujud sahwi nak baca apa? Baca biasa. Okay, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. In some books, you would find, maybe some of us memorize this, Subhana man la yanamu wa la yashu. Subhana man la yanamu wa la yashu. Maha suci Allah yang tidak tidur dan tidak lupa. Dari segi maknanya baguslah. It's accurate meaning. Allah, glory be to Allah, because He does not sleep and He does not forget. Okay, but this is not from any hadith. Imam Hajar al-Asqalani mentioned this hadith, la asla lahu. This is not a hadith. Okay, so what is closer to the sunnah, what is more accurate to be practiced, is to recite any of the tasbih that is mentioned in hadith to be recited during prayer. So you can recite Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. You can recite also Subuhun Qudusun Rabbul Malaikati Warruh. Because these were all mentioned. Kita ada buku Hisnul Muslim, kan? The Fortress of the Muslim, that small book, Perisai Muslim. Dalam tu ada semua doa yang Nabi SAW baca semasa sujud. Okay, there are many, not just Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. So, but of course, if we only memorize Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, you can recite that. How many times does not matter. Recite 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Even if you do not recite anything, pun tak apa, sujud saja. Allah Akbar, put your head down. Allah Akbar, get up. Allah Akbar, sujud again. Allah Akbar, get up. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. And that is the end of the chapter of Sujud Sahwi. Any more questions before we close?
Yes.
Okay.
Just to make myself clear. So, if, for example, Imam did correct 4 rakaat, and we know that Imam did 4 rakaat, but Imam has stopped doing 4 rakaat, so he did sujud sahwi. Do we follow Imam to do sujud sahwi?
Yes, follow.
So
Follow.
whenever Imam do sujud sahwi,
Yes.
we follow.
You must follow the Imam. Innama ju'ila al-imam liyutamma bih. Hadith. The Imam is put in his position for you to follow, for him to be followed. Innama ju'ila al-imam liyutamma bih. So follow whatever actions that the Imam has done. Okay, the earlier example that I gave is the Imam is clearly wrong, because he stood up and he really went sitting down. So you remain standing, because if you go back down and you are aware, kita tahu hukum, kalau kita turun pun batal. Melainkan except we do not know. We do not know the ruling and we go down, tak batal. Because if you do not know, you're forgiven. Because kita tak tahu.
Yeah, in a situation where we solat and then we remember that, we added 1 rakaat because of the doubt. Okay, so we get a mental note that, okay, we have to make sujud sahwi. But then we went on to do the taslim. And then we realized, tak buat sujud sahwi because of that doubt.
No problem. Sujud sahwi after that. So you already said, you finish your prayer. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Assalamualaikum. Alamak, lupa nak sujud sahwi. Dah lah, lupa nak sujud sahwi pula. 2 kali lupa. Jadi sujud 4 kali, tak ada. Sujud 2 kali juga. Okay, you can say salam and then you make your sujud sahwi. So this is in fact, true stories, examples. You're supposed to do sujud sahwi, tapi lepas tu kita syak, kita lupa. Dah sujud sahwi ke belum? Okay, tak perlu sujud lebih. Sujud sahwi tetap 2 kali sujud.
Then Ustaz, with regards to saying subhanallah, I ever heard one Ustaz say, you know how when we speak in salah will be valid. So basically, when we do say subhanallah as well, he advised that it should be with a niat of zikr instead of having a niat of
Correcting.
telling the person or correcting.
Yes. So that is in fact a minor view, but based on the evidence, based on that hadith, at-tasbih lil-rijal, inshallah, even if with the intention of correcting the imam, that is fine, your prayer is valid. Okay, it's not a problem. Okay, it's not a problem, because we have seen from the various hadith that we've recited, people even had question and answer going on. People had question and answer. They asked the Prophet ﷺ, yet the earlier 2 rakat was fine and he just made up 2 missing raka'ah. So that subhanallah, okay, whatever your intention, okay, it can be intended to be correcting the imam, or even if you intend it to be a part of dhikr, that is fine. That should not be a problem, inshallah. And
is there any extension that statement that Rasulullah SAW makes? I have not forgotten, and it has not been shortened. Was there any other explanation why?
From what I've heard, okay, so when he said that, when Dhul Yadain asked him, did you forget Anasita ya Rasulullah? Or Qasratus Salah, have you forgotten, or has the prayer been shortened? So Nabi SAW said, I did not forget, nor has the prayer been shortened, because no wahyu, Jibril did not come saying shorten your prayer. So in fact, both instances are correct, okay. But the fact that Nabi SAW asked the congregation, is it the case as what Dhul Yadain said? And then the companions answered the affirmative yes. It showed that the Prophet ﷺ forgot. He had actually forgotten. Okay, he had forgotten, because whatever the case is, because he looked angry. So the hadith did not explain. But whatever the reason that he suddenly got up and leaned against the pillar and got angry, and he did his hands like this, and he rested his hand on his hand, showed that there was something going on in his mind. But the hadith did not mention. Okay, so maybe because of that he only prayed 2. And he didn't come to his realization that he only had prayed 2 rak'ahs instead of 4 rak'ahs. Now, you forget all of your rak'ahs?
You're not even performing.
Yeah, if you forget all of your rak'ahs, you should restart from the very beginning, because prayer is performed in order to remember Allah. So if you totally forget, that means there was no khushu', you're not being aware, you're not being attentive that you are in fact in the state of prayer. So if that's truly the case, I'm sure very rarely that it would happen. But inshallah, go. I'm sure you must be very sleepy. Go retake your wudu and pray again, inshallah. Now, no more questions, inshallah.
Duration of Sujud Sahwi, how long can you perform? Let's say half an hour later.
Half an hour later?
Very?
I think it should be performed immediately. Immediately, not too long.
If you forgotten.
If you forgotten, back to that third example. The doubt comes after, so you do not have to do anything. Because you know why? Sujud sahwi. Hukum dia apa tadi? Sunnah. So kalau kita tak buat, it's okay. Prayer tetap sah. Our prayer yang awal tadi tetap sah, tak menjadi masalah. Okay? But if you are still doubtful, alamak, betul-betul became clear. Oh, I actually did pray 3 only instead of 4. Now you are clear. So what can you do? You make up for that missing rak'ah. Even after it's a long duration of time. Okay? Even if after a long duration of time, but it truly became clear. Oh, I in fact only prayed 3. And I realize it now. I'm confirmed, certain I only prayed 3. Then you make up that 1 rak'ah and then you perform sujud sahwi.
Ustaz, how to restart it?
Restart macam mana?
Yalah, macam dah buat 3, lepas tu teringat balik. Pergi, dah tu how you...
Oh, takbiratul ihram.
Yes.
Go stand facing the qibla, like beginning prayer, Allahu Akbar. With the intention in your heart, Ya Allah, this intention is to make up that missing raka'ah. Suratul Fatihah, surah sunnah, nak baca boleh, tak nak baca boleh. So complete 1 rakaat prayer. Okay? And then you can either 2 options, you can say sujud sahwi before Assalamualaikum or Assalamualaikum and then sujud sahwi. Naam. Okay, with regard to the actual recitation, when you say taslim, a few narrations, there's Assalamu alaikum. Bas. Assalamu alaikum, that's it. There is Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, that's it. There is Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Semua boleh. All of it can be practiced, but the view that is most practiced is Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Okay? Based on that question, inshallah, now we are outside prayer. When one gives salam, Assalamu alaikum, giving salam is sunnah. Responding salam is wajib. Assalamu alaikum, I get 10 marks, 10 points. You reply Assalamu alaikum, 10 marks, 10 points. if you reply someone salam, always try to reply even better than that. So if one says assalamu alaikum, you reply assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, you get 20 points. Or assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, you get 30 points. Okay, so always try to do the maximum, always try to do the best in order to earn a lot of rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and you also reply wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and that's the best form of salam. Okay, no more questions, inshallah. Can we end here?
Yes.
Okay, I hope whatever that was shared was inshallah of benefit to us. Next chapter we'll be talking about Salatul Jama'ah, the chapter of congregational prayer. So we have completed the bab of sujood. We have covered all the bab of sujood. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who are in constant remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who are always in sujood, and for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept us from amongst those of His believers and His servants who are always in a state of sujood. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us a good ending, for Him to take our lives away when in state of sujood, even if not physically in sujood, for our hearts to be khushu', to be sujood to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.